Hey everyone, it's me. I just wanted to give you a bit of a life update on what I've been going through these last couple months because I know it's been a while since I posted. And to be honest, things have been a little up and down for me. But the reason I created this channel is so that I can show you guys how I work through my process and come out on the other side of my anxiety and intrusive thoughts. I do believe we all have the power to change our thoughts, and our thoughts are what dictate our reality because they're the lens through which we perceive everything, our thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. And so, what I've been kind of butting up against the last couple months is some imposter syndrome, which is probably part of the reason I haven't been posting. I didn't think what I had to say had value or what was the point, and kind of spiraling a little bit. I was also doing some traveling though and visiting with friends, and that was really enlightening. So I think what's really unique about this journey is that you truly can't follow anyone else's path. I've been on this journey for about 5 years now, and every year it kind of changes a little more and a little more. I started out kind of following certain people on YouTube and online and realized that what's really cool about the internet is that it's kind of given everyone a platform to share their thoughts. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be listening to what everyone else is saying. The unique part about this journey is that you really do kind of have to go through trial and error and figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And so I kind of reached a point where I was really saturated with too much messaging and not enough doing. I was absorbing all the information, but I wasn't taking action on it. And action is how you learn. It's through trial and error that you kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Even if you mess up, you learn something from it. And the things that do work, you remember those and you continue doing them and you continue to be consistent and you continue to make progress. So I think I was kind of really getting caught up in that for the last couple months. And yeah. So I kind of realized that every day is like a new battle. You're kind of trying to win the war with yourself through one challenge or one battle at a time. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the war is going to go on forever. I mean, I've been dealing with this since I was a teenager, but it got to a point where I had to do something different. And I do believe that part of my mission here is to help guide other people through my own trial and error and what's worked for me and what hasn't. That's not to say you necessarily need to do everything that I suggest, but I don't believe in this toxic positivity culture where we just try to counteract every single thought with a positive thought. As someone who deals with anxiety, sometimes trying to argue with the thoughts can feel very futile. And what I realize is like this inner critic is almost like a bully. And in real life, you wouldn't deal with a bully by arguing back with them. That doesn't typically work. And neither does ignoring them. So you kind of have to find this middle ground of trying to be compassionate and understand where they're coming from. And that's what I've been trying to do lately with more of my intrusive thoughts, is figuring out what is the fear or the belief underneath this thought that's causing me to feel this way, because that's what really needs to be addressed, is those beliefs that we have about ourselves. And you just kind of have to take it one day at a time. What works one day may not work the next day. Some days for me, meditating works really well, and other days going on a walk works better, and other days just lying on my couch and doing nothing is the best thing I can do. And so you really do have to diagnose it on a day-to-day basis. One thing that I also kind of discovered today, actually, while I was driving, was I was starting to feel some anxiety, and like I always feel it in my chest area usually. And I had known about EFT for a while, which is emotional freedom technique or emotional freedom tapping. And the idea is that you tap on different areas of your body. Sometimes it's your chest, sometimes it's the side of your head, sometimes it's the front of your head. And I think what that does is it kind of breaks you out of whatever thought patterns you're having in that moment and gets you more in tune with your body, and also like physically kind of breaks up the energy that's residing there. And so since I was driving, I couldn't do a meditation, or probably wouldn't have been safe for me to do that. So I started tapping instead, and I just started tapping on my chest and my temple and the front of my head, just kind of things I had remembered from the past. And for whatever reason, that kind of like broke me out of the cycle that I was in. And so that's what I'm saying, when you can't necessarily always follow what everyone else is doing, because some people would say, oh, if you're having an intrusive thought, try and dialogue with it. And that just doesn't work for me. Sometimes it does, sometimes I can journal about it, but you really have to kind of diagnose yourself in the moment to moment basis and figure out what's going to work best for you in that moment, whether that's listening to music or journaling or meditating. But the journey is truly yours to own and yours to figure out, which I know is like super frustrating because you want someone to just give you step-by-step processes. But that's kind of been my biggest takeaway the last couple months, and hopefully you'll be seeing more of me soon, because I do think we all have a message, we all have a purpose, and mine is to help guide you in whatever way I can. So if you have any comments or questions or things that you'd like to learn more about, please leave a comment below and let me know. All right, take care. See you soon.